Hi guys and welcome back. In today's video we'll be converting blueprints into C++. So this is the third part I believe of my blueprints versus C++ series. So let's get started. First of all, let's have a few functions to actually convert into blueprints. Now I'll be going over the basics. So we'll have several basic functions and we'll be using U functions as well as U properties to get variables as well as functions exposed to blueprints. So before we start, head into your tools, new C++ class, and depending on what you're doing, so in our case we'll be doing a character and we'll be reparenting that inside the third person character blueprint. So we can hit next and let's just call it CPP name game character. This is just my naming convention, you could have anything. So make sure everything's correct and create the class and I'll be back. Alright guys, so now I'm inside the C++ class and this is where we actually have our actual code. So this is the .h file and this is the .cpp file. So basically any functions you declare, so basically the prototypes as well as any variables that you declare will be inside the header and anything else would be inside of your C++ file. That's basically how you structure it. And you might have recognized a couple of things such as the begin play as well as the tick. So these are exactly the same things as blueprints, but since they are being called from C++, it's much more less taxing on performance, so it's much more efficient. What we could do to optimize this a bit more is just remove the tick since we are not using that anyway. So just a small measure you could take for any actor that's not actually using tick. You could just delete that in C++, or in blueprints too there's an option to disable tick I believe. And now let's just go over the access modifiers. So you have public, protected as well as private. Private is not really required to be added. So we'll mostly be working with protected because we want the functions and variables to be accessible by our character blueprint, which is a derived class of this. However, we don't want the variables and functions to be called or accessed by other classes. So let's actually start by looking at how to expose these to blueprints. So to expose variables, you use a specifier known as uProperty. Now if I could spell that correctly, so uProperty. Now what, first of all, without any specifiers inside this parentheses, this will already allow you to take advantage of Unreal's reflection system, and you could enter a few specifiers which we will go over. So let's just have two variables, int ammo, and let's just duplicate that. Hope I got the spelling correctly, or is it just Visual Studio? So we could have float health for example. Oops, float health. So if I can spell that correctly, got that. So now as you guys can see, now I declared these separately. Now let's say you wanted another variable, let's say clip size for example. Just as an example, you wouldn't store that in the character. Now this would not work, only your ammo variable will actually be exposed to blueprints. I mean, we haven't had the specifier yet to expose it to blueprints, but this will not actually work. So you can have only one variable at a time. So you'll need to copy your property again, paste that, and then have another variable for the clip size. So now what we can do is use a couple of specifiers. So one common one that you'll use is blueprint read write. So whoops, blueprint read write. What this specifier will allow us to do is actually modify this variable from blueprint. So let's say you didn't want to be able to modify this variable in blueprint but just be able to read it, you could do blueprint read only. Now all these specifiers are available on the Unreal documentation. You could type in uProperty Unreal Engine docs and you would get the page for that. And another specifier is edit anywhere. So this will allow you to change the default value either under the class defaults or by just selecting the variable in blueprints. So we could have this specifier, or in our case we'll be having blueprint read write, and just copy that over and paste it inside the health. Now if you want to expose functions inside blueprints, that's pretty simple too. you use a macro called u function. Now again, same thing with the u property. It again takes in a couple of specifiers, and you could again take advantage of Unreal's reflection system. Now it's pretty straightforward again. Again, you have all the things listed out in the docs. But one thing that the documentation doesn't go over properly is passing by reference. Because if you'd see, let's say I had a function. So let's just create bool fire function, for example. And let's say you had a couple of parameters. So let's say you had int ammo. Now just assume that we don't have this variable here. Of course it's stupid to actually pass this variable. You could just directly access it since it's a global variable. So global relative to where we'll be calling this function, since it's there in our h file in the protected section. So once we have this will actually compile. There will be no errors. And let's say we wanted to pass another thing. So just for example, let's say bool can fire maybe. So what you'd expect is you'd pass the variable by reference, right? But that doesn't really happen. What actually happens when you do this is this comes out as an out parameter in blueprints. So the way you get past that is by using another specifier called uparam. So uparam ref. When you do this, it's going to take this by reference as an input parameter, which is exactly what we want. And for the function, it's going to be blueprint callable. Now there are a couple more specifiers. Now let's say you just wanted to have the function in C++, or you wanted to call the function from C++, but you wanted to actually have the code inside the function in blueprints. So what you could do is you could declare this as a blueprint implementable event. So what this basically means, if I can spell that right, yeah. So what blueprint implementable event does, as the name says, it's actually implemented in blueprints. So any logic that you'd have for this function blueprints. However, you could just call the function from C++. So for example, on begin play, I could do fire function, and this would compile completely fine. So this is how blueprint implementable event works. And there is something else known as blueprint native event. So what blueprint native event allows you to do is to actually have C++ functionality as well along with blueprint. So you could make a call to the parent from your blueprint class. That's one way of handling it. So when you use this, what Unreal does is something smart actually. So you can just create a definition for this. So create definition. So this is done. However, this is not the right way to do it. What you actually do is type in underscore implementation. We won't be going over this, but just note that you need to type in underscore implementation. Even though Visual Studio does say it's an error, this is actually the correct syntax. So if you type in underscore implementation, this is where you'll actually have the C++ logic for your blueprint native event. However, we'll just be doing a normal C++ function and we'll be calling it from blueprints. So blueprint callable, and I shouldn't have actually removed that, so I can just undo that actually. And fire function. And now in the next video we'll actually be going over how to set up the logic for the function. But for now that we have exposed this function into blueprint, now let's just compile this and check how this looks inside our blueprint. Alright guys, just a quick correction. Just make sure you change the variable name. I just realized I reused the name, so hope you guys won't mind. And now inside our third person character, if we actually go into our class settings and change this, and if we type in cpp underscore main game character, make sure you guys do restart the project. So if you do that, this will be happy to compile. So I have built this, so right click and build. So it did compile. Now just to test it out, so let's just type in on begin play, and before we do that, let's see if we can actually get our variable. So one thing that you'll see is you don't find it over here. You could just type in ammo and you would see under CPP underscore main game character you find ammo. Now there are a few more specifiers. If you want this to be a multiplayer setup, you could type in replicated here, and then inside your CPP file you can call the dorep lifetime function. So that's basically how you do it. Let's just check our health. Now this again is from CPP underscore main game character, the class we had in C++. Now just to see if the fire function is working, so we could just type in fire function, and as you guys can see, it takes in an integer, that is ammo in, by reference. Now if I were to just connect this, it won't compile. So let's just type in random integer maybe. Now it's going to be happy to compile. And again, this was passed by value, so I don't need to actually hook up anything, so I can just check or uncheck that. So this is basically how you expose your C++ functions into blueprints and any and all logic that you'll have. So you can just double click on that to actually open that function in Visual Studio. So any and all logic that you have over here will be called when you do this, when you call this fire function. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope it was informative, and if it was, make sure you guys do leave a like. And yeah guys, link down in the video description is a link to my Discord server. If you guys haven't joined it yet, make sure you do, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.